We're hearing from people who've watched the violence right outside their front doors. KCTV5's Amy Anderson is live now with that. Amy.
Well, Ellen, the protesters left in the middle of the night, as you know, but the streets around the heart of the plaza are still blocked off by police at this hour. We talked to people who live down here who say the weekend was scary, but may have been necessary for change.
George Floyd may not have lived in Kansas City, but there are George Floyds everywhere.
Shannon Hoskins watched 3 days of protests from her living room window this weekend.
So literally directly outside my front door was basically a standoff. They started to tear gas the neighborhood, and I immediately had to go close all my windows because gas was coming in.
Hoskins, like so many others, want change, to be treated fairly, to be respected. She had to make the difficult decision to make sure her 11-year-old son was staying elsewhere this weekend, worried that the otherwise peaceful protests would take a turn.
Once it got to a point last night at around 8:15, I knew that that was the best choice I could have made, because the protests turned basically into a riot at that point.
On Saturday night, protesters bashed through the front door of Hoskins' apartment building, and last night, cars out front were tagged. A news car was burned. Maggie Alisi spent her morning cleaning obscenities off the side of her car, but says while frustrating, it's okay. She considers her car collateral damage for change she says is long overdue.
In Kansas City, I think there's a lot of community here, so hopefully that we can all come together and make a change for the better.
Now, Shannon Hoskins says for so many hours yesterday, those protests were incredibly peaceful. She called it a melting pot, and she told me she hopes any future protests remain peaceful. Reporting live tonight in Kansas City, Missouri, Amy Anderson, KCTV5 News.
Thanks, Amy. If you have our KCTV5 News app, you were the first to hear about protests turning violent. Download it today for breaking news updates in your neighborhood.